So, Jacob.
Could you read more?
Could I read more? Yes, I could. Am I going to, or am I going to encourage you to go to the library today, as it is our library day, to find the book Cracker and check it out?
I am.
Because I want you to read it for yourself. Joseph.
Did the author make any more books?
Yes, the author actually has quite a few books out. From when I was doing my research on this, it looked like they're a little bit lower than what we would expect from middle school. But if you read this book and you would like to read a couple more books by this author, please feel free.
I would just like to say in the beginning it's okay, but as soon as you get into chapter 4 or 5, it gets a lot better because she starts going out and does training and goes out and starts fighting all this stuff.
When you say she, you're talking about Cynthia Kodahata.
No, Cracker.
Cracker, okay. Cynthia Kodahata, by the way, is the author. Okay? Yes.
What is communism?
Communism. Communism is a form of government in which people are, it's kind of like being ruled by a king or a queen, except it's by a dictator. And you are told what you can think, what you can do, when you have to be somewhere. Communism, they even ration food in some communistic countries. So all the freedoms that we have here in the United States, you wouldn't have there.
Okay.
Dominic.
When did the Vietnam War take place?
This was in the 70s.
Wait.
Why were they called Viet Congs?
Uh,
I know that.
okay, Jacob, go ahead and explain for me.
It stands for Vietnamese Communists. That's what it stands for, or what some soldiers say. And actually, Vietnam War started at 1959, and it ended around 1970.
There you go. Briar.
Was Cracker trained to find trip mines too?
Yes. And that's what Rick was actually looking for, was that tripwire. When he finally figured out that a couple of the leaves weren't in the right place.
Was this the era of the M1 Garand? The rifle?
That's
I don't
World
know.
War II.
This war was M14 and M16, M60, and all those.
Yeah, the M14.
I was going to say, I don't know too much about weapons.
But I do.
I forgot what I was gonna say now. What was it?
That's okay. We'll come back to you. Gabrielle.
Is that both based off the true story?
Like I said, it's a historical fiction. So there's some things in there that are taken from history, but the majority of the story is fiction. Okay, it's based off of true history, but it's fiction.
Was this based on a true story? Oh, did she just ask that?
Yeah.
Oh.
And yes, it is
That's
based on real animals, these dogs that did go over to Vietnam, but it's not a true story.
They had to, is there a couple extra pages of, where they got it from because plagiarism? Is there a couple of extra
There is a few pages at the very end of the story
That's fine.
that explains where they did take this story from. And I do really strongly encourage you to read that because that was almost as good as the story itself. Okay, last question.
Okay, so some of this is taken from the Vietnam War and about how they took animals from some of their homes that couldn't have them and train them for the war.
People donated their dogs to be trained, and then yes, they were taken over to Vietnam. I do want to warn you that, as you guys know, this is a book about war. So if you're a person that cannot handle some strong graphic kind of things, I mean, it doesn't get very gory, but there's some things in here that is disturbing, such as what happens to the majority of the animals. Make sure you are warned that they do explain that, and because it is based off the true lives of these dogs. Okay, if you guys have any more questions, I will entertain those when we get to the library. Now, we do have limited numbers of books on Cracker, and I saw yesterday that a couple of them were actually already reserved, and I do have one somewhere on my bookshelves that you guys are also welcome to check out. And those of you that get the chance to read it on the have the Kindles, it is on here. As you saw, I was reading straight from this. Okay, thank you.